Okay, good morning, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Let's see how we're doing here. I'm just getting myself set up quickly here. Let me open the chat function. Morning, Louis. Gerry, bit of a weird special day. Birthday of my wife, Lisa, therefore a lockdown party for two. I'm sure you're going to have a great time, Louis. I'm sure you're going to have a great time. Okay, while everybody else is joining, morning, Sally, morning, everybody. So the idea with today, as with all of these, so I'm just figuring out the light here. Looks like I'm touched, all this light coming through. So I have coffee, big mug, get after it. And what we're going to do in this particular webinar today, just while people are still joining up, I'm going to be looking at the cataloging feature within Lightroom and try and give you some tips and tricks. And just, you might know this, thank you. You might know this, but maybe just a reminder or different ways of doing it. Like I've said in the past, right? Like I've said in the past, if you ask 5 people who do Lightroom how to do something, you're going to get 12 answers because there are so many different ways to do these things. Hey, Megan, how's it going? So I'm going to just start and talk you through the basics of the cataloging thing. Some of you might know this, some of you might not. And then I'm just going to look at different ways of doing different things. Cataloging, star rating, color levels, using the spray can tool, which for me is one of the very best ways of cataloging and sorting images. Then right at the end of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a little workflow of how I go from a group of images, right? Yeah, Peter, I know this. I'm not going to have my hands there too much. We're going to go into Lightroom, so that's cool. Touched, see? It's like I'm glowing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a very basic workflow of how I go about importing a whole bunch of images and taking them from a raw collection of, let's say, 2,000-3,000 images into a collection as part of the cataloging process. Right. Now, Vikram, hey, welcome. So that's the basic of it. Quick one for me. Just, you can, throughout the entire session, I'm monitoring the chat. Just if you have any comments, I will answer Q&As right at the end, or if something pops up that's relevant, I will take it at the time. But any questions, fire them in the Q&A. The chat function, we can kind of keep going. On the chat for me quickly, just a quick idea again, I want to know who I'm talking to here. Your level of understanding, Path, you're too quick, man. Your level of understanding of the cataloging system in Lightroom. Not Lightroom as a whole, the cataloging feature. Go. 1 to 10. 10 being, I know this shit. Number 1 is like, what the hell are you talking about? Give me a number. Let's see where we're at. I need to know who I'm talking to. Okay, I've got 0, 7, 4, 5, 5, 7, 6, 7, 6, 5, 5, 8, 7, 2, 5, 4. My photos are a big mess. Basic 3. Okay. Now, I'm going to just ask a couple of more questions just for me to understand. Remembering this, guys, this what we're doing now is not a Lightroom course. This is me giving you some tips and tricks. If you take 1 or 2 of the things that I offer you, great, we all win. I'll tell you about, at the end of this webinar, I'll tell you about a more dedicated seminar almost that I'm hosting next week, Wednesday, but that's different. There we're going to go deep into course level stuff. For now, how many of you are currently importing your images using Lightroom? Using Lightroom to import your images. How many of you do that now? Okay, no, yes, 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 no, 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 yes, me, I do, you do. Okay, what? I do not always, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so again, let me bring it back. Most of you are very happy to get your images from a device, whether it's a memory card, a camera, your iPhone, whatever the case is, into Lightroom. Okay, that's the first part. I'm not going to cover the how of that. If you go to the Wild Eye YouTube channel, there are videos that will say how to import your images. It's old stuff. I'm much, much younger there, but the information is there. Okay, I'm going to quickly take you into Lightroom, and I'm just going to talk through some basics of the library module, and then I'm going to come back and I'll explain to you how we're going to work. Ready? Here we go. You can still keep the chat function going. I'm going to go into Lightroom here. And there we are. Okay, just again, I always do this. Please tell me whether you can see my screen here. You should be seeing a lot of waterfalls from Iceland. Yes, no. Can we see this? Yes, done. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Love the engagement. Okay. Now, within Lightroom, this is the library module that we spoke about. The moment I go to develop, it takes me to the processing side of it. We are not going here today. We're staying in Lightroom. Library module only. All right. Opening the side tab over here, Lightroom, and this is an important part. I'm just going to talk through this. This is kind of just a bit more background information. Catalog, folders, collections. This is vital. This is vital to understand, right? Catalog. A catalog in Lightroom is like a book. It's like a photo album. You can only look at one at a time. You can't read two books at the same time. So the catalog that we're looking at is all photographs that I've added into this particular catalog, right? Inside here, there's 197,000 images. This is my Lightroom catalog. Now, this is Lightroom's version and Lightroom's brain, right? It keeps all of the details of your images inside the catalog. There are catalog files, and I can show you where to find them on your hard drive if you really want to. Trust me, you don't want to go there. I've seen too many people lose things and make mistakes. Leave it alone. Now, folders, this is where your actual raw files live, the home of your raw file, so to speak. So mine here is on the external hard drive I currently have attached, Master Raw 2017 and on. I go and I will have Raw 2017 as a directory, and then in every directory per trip that I do, yeah, I then just add a new directory. So if I go into my hard drive, it looks exactly like this. Okay, it makes it easy for me to understand because I can look here and say, right, on this hard drive, I've got all of these directories. This is the newest one. I've only done one trip this year so far, which was Iceland. And I'm not sure when I'm doing another one. Thank you, Corona. We'll see how that goes. But this is my raw structure. So catalog is all the images in your Lightroom. Folder is home of raw files, where they live, right? And then collections. This is golden. Now, again, can I quickly ask you guys for a number? How well do you understand collections? 10 being, I got this. 1, what the hell are you talking about? Collection, this is important because we're going to go there. Okay, that's a very wide range of numbers. Okay, I've got 10s, I've got 3s, 4, 5s, 1, 3. Okay, cool. All right, again, remembering, I'm going to take you through this. Not a course, but you should be able to pull some value from here. Then we can go further from there. Now, if we look at, I'm going to quickly come back to you here for a second. Right. When you, sorry, I'm just fighting with the sun here. The sun's making very interesting. Let's try that. When you are, okay, I've got Q&As popping up. Okay, hold that penny. I'm going to get to all of those at the end. And we put the chat function here so we can see. Okay. Once you've imported your images into Lightroom, right? 2,000 from a raw shoot, whatever, they're in there. You now have to go and make sense of it. I have seen too many people who, when they do this, they start and they'll go to the first one, they'll go through and like, okay, this one looks cool. They process it a little bit and then they move on and then they process this one and then they carry on and then it's messy. You're never going to get through everything. I'm sure there's some of you out there that have directories with files in it that you've never looked at again and you haven't sorted it. That's what I'm going to try and help you with. The idea behind this about the cataloging is for you to make sense of a bulk of images and make it easy, right? And make it easily manageable. There are a couple of ways you can do this. The ones I'm going to focus on now. Number 1, ratings, star ratings, 1 through 5. Color labels, yeah? I'm going to just show you 4 of those. Keywording, and then the collection function. So once we get all those things together, it's going to be easier for you to start making sense of it. And then for those of you that have traveled with me in the last 2 years or so, you'll know that I use B and X, the letters B and X, which makes me sorting my images this quick. I can go through 3,000 images in a matter of half an hour and have them down to nothing. Not nothing, a couple of hundred, which I then process. That's what I'm going to leave you with at the end. For now, let me show you the basics of how you can add ratings, labels, and keywords to any of your images inside of Lightroom. So we're taking you back into Lightroom over there. All right, you should all be able to see my screen again. Just confirm for me, please. We've had 1 or 2 little glitches with Zoom. Yes, cool. Thanks, Sally. That's awesome. Okay, now within, so I've closed the 2 panels on the side just for us to have more real estate, right? So we're going to get back to those. I am now going to go to folders. I'm in my Iceland folder. There's a 1977 raw files in this collection of images. Those are my raw files as shot. Okay, so I'm going to hide that so I've got more real estate. I'll get back to this side. I'm going to hide that one, and we're going to start working. Come on, you should be hiding there. Now, once I've got an image selected, let me just make them a little bit smaller. Once I've got an image selected, I can use the arrow keys to flash through them, right? Okay, now the first thing is these all look the same, but there are subtle differences once we get into it. Now, ways for you to sort your images. Easiest way, star ratings. Okay, literally the numbers on your keyboard. Okay, what I want you to watch on this image here, see underneath these 5 dots. Right now, there are no ratings. This is an unrated image. If I hit 1 on my keyboard, watch what happens. 1 star, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I want to take it away, I give it a 0 rating, back to 0. All right. So now, and this is important. Sorry, back with me for a sec. I'm going to give you the tools. How you use it is up to you, right? Some people say, I'm going to rate it a 5 stars good. Others say 1 star is good. Some people say red is good and blue is bad. You can decide how to do this. I'm going to just give you ideas as we go on. Right. Let's go back to the screen, into Lightroom. There we go. Okay. So I can now, with any image highlighted, I can hit 1. Watch again, the stars. I need 2, 3, 4, or 5 on my keyboard, or 0. So let's just fast forward. If I'm going to work through this, I can start here. My one finger is on the right arrow, and the other finger is on the star rating. So I can look at this and say, that's cool. Okay, I'm going to give it a 1. Keep going. Ooh, I like that. That can get a 1. Arrow, 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 arrow. I like that one. Arrow, arrow. Ooh, this is cool. I like that. Okay, so by giving them just 1 rating, you're already getting a grouping together. So I'm going to jump just a little bit forward now for you as well. Now, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. You can go through this entire thing like this. The cool thing is this. Once you've got star ratings and you want to look just at the number 1s, it's very simple. You come up here to attribute. See this little filter bar here? You click on attribute, and then it gives me this. And I can then say here, show me only 1 star ratings. There we have it. Now, this is important. Some people miss this little part. This here, rating is greater or equal. I normally leave it to equal, right? And then there I've got my images. If I want to go back to all of the images in this folder, I just click on none, or I unclick the star. And there are all my images. It's busy loading. There we are. So the star ratings remain. Okay, so you can now go, for example, I can say to myself, the images that I want to process is a number 5. You decide this for yourself. Okay, you decide, I'm going to do number 5 as my hero shots. Ones that I might want to do, I can do 3, and bad examples is 1. For example, you make this up. So my finger goes on the arrow again, so I can go arrow, arrow, arrow. That's that when I'm ready. And I look at this. Now I'm going to decide, okay, this is cool. 5. Keep going. Sorry, let me just go back to none here. So I'm going to go 5. Maybe this one, 5. This one, give it a 3. Nothing, nothing. 1, 1, 1. Ooh, I like that. 5, 5. Get the idea. 3, arrow, 5, and so on. You can add 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into this as well. But by adding 1 through 5 from your keyboard, you're assigning star ratings to those images. Now, I can go up to say attribute. And now I'm going to say, remember this here, it says equal to. Show me only the 5 stars. There they are. Okay, very simple, because now you can start processing just your 5 stars. If you want to see just the 3 stars, there they are, or just the 1 stars, there they are. Very simple way, making sense so far. If I want to see, for example, 5 stars, right? Rating is less than or equal. I can do this. Now it's showing me all of the ratings, right? Everything. So now I'm basically not filtering. That's why I prefer to go equal to, and I know 5 star, 3 star, or 1 star, exactly what I'm working with. Okay. Give me in the chat just a quick function that was super easy. That's thumbs up or something. That was pretty simple. Yeah? Okay. So that's one easy. You should know this. The next step, let's go deeper. I'm going to do the same kind of thing now, but this time I'm going to be using color labels. So how this works, let's take it back into Lightroom. Remember, I'm only looking at this, so I've got to go out. I've got to unclick that, and I've got to leave attribute to go to none. Okay. So, okay, I'm struggling. We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry about this. Okay. I'm going to, for example, just leave the star ratings that I have on here for now. But now we want to add color labels. Where you were adding star ratings from 1 through 5, you just keep going. 6, 7, 8, and 9 on your keyboard. So I'm going to do this one. 6, watch what happens. Next one, 7. Next one, 8. Next one, 9. Okay. So if you're on an image and you click 6, 7, 8, or 9, it adds a red, yellow, green, or blue label to that image. And again, let me just go through. So I'm going to just choose red, for example, right? I can go, ooh, I like that one, that one, that one, that one, and so on and so forth, right? If I want to show only the reds, I go up to attribute. Now, you see, here's the color. I can then say, show me only the reds. There they are. I can say, show me the reds and the greens, right? Hello, show me, did I do a green? There should be, there we go, I did a yellow. So then it shows me all the ones, all the colors that I want to have. The cool thing is this. Let me go back. I have some images here now that are red and 5-star. I've got green and 5-star. See these two? Okay. So I can now go into attributes and say, cool, I want to see 5 stars. And there I can see all my 5 stars, but I only want to see the 5 stars that are red. Boom, there's my image. Or I want to see 5 stars that are green, and there's my image. Now, simple that was. Pretty easy, yeah? What you should figure out, just give me an idea. You guys are following that. It's pretty easy, yeah? Adding the color labels, doing the attributes, figuring it out. The biggest thing that people need to start understanding is you need to figure out what works for you, right? I'm going to show you a super easy way that's coming up now. Is what are you doing this for? Why are you doing photography? Are you doing it to create a coffee table book? Are you doing it to sell prints? Are you doing it to do both? Are you trying to do it for Instagram to get likes? Because then you need to reassess your priorities because that's not important. Different webinar. Maybe I should do that actually. But whatever the reason is, assign a color or a rating to each of those. It'll make your life a lot easier as you go. All right, so we know how to add star ratings. We know how to add color labels. Now, keywording. Keywording is important. We just quickly check these Q&As to choose the right 5-star. Okay, I'll get to those questions in the end. Quick one for me. Again, number of 1 to 10. Keywording. How well do you understand keywording? 10, I'm an ace. 1, what the hell? Okay, it's pretty good. Okay, there's a pretty good understanding. Someone wants Rice Krispies. That's great. That's great. Okay, I'm going to average this at about a 6 or a 7 from what I can see. Okay, let me go and show you some basics on keywording, and then I'm going to make it very easy for you. Why am I seeing this on screen? Because I am still on attribute 5-star green. Right, if I want to go out, none, I'm back to all my images. I'm going to leave all of these color labels and stuff here for now, just because we can play with it a little bit later on. Okay, so keywording. The most important thing here, sorry, I'm just going to come back to you for 1 second. Keywording starts from the moment you import your images into Lightroom. When you import, you have an option of applying a bunch of keywords. But remember, this is a global keyword. This is to the entire bunch of images. So if we all go to the Masai Mara, right, our camp's going to be very full. We don't have enough space for all of you, only 12 at a time. But let's say 12 of us go to the Masai Mara and we shoot all day long. And you come and import in the evening. You are at that stage, during import stage, not going to go and say, listen, keyword all of this, lion, leopard, cheetah, elephant, buffalo, lilac-breasted roller, because it applies all of those images to keywords to all of your images. You're going to go generic, kind of broad scope on your import. You're going to say Kenya, safari, Africa, mammals, if everything's mammals. You can do wildlife, nature, wild eye, Gerry is awesome, whatever. You can add all of those keywords at your base level when you import. Okay. Now, when you want to get specific, this is how you do that. So if you had, now I'm going to open this right-hand panel, right? Open that, keywording here, under keywording. If you applied any type of keywords during your import, they will be in here. In this case, it would have been landscape, Iceland, Reykjavik, Vic, however the hell you say the name of whatever this waterfall was. So you can do all of that at base level, right? At base level when you import. When you get down to now, to this level, and you want to now add specific keywords to each one, it's going to be different. With this image highlighted, I can now go in here and type waterfall, enter. Waterfall is now attached to that one. Let's say, just bear with me, right? Let's say this is also waterfall and so on and so forth. This is also a waterfall. So you can then go and add keywords. The cool thing is, let's do another one here. You can do waterfall, comma, Iceland, comma, landscape, and so on and so forth. Can you spell, Gerry? There we go, landscape. So if I now flash through these images, watch what happens on this side, right? Then as I click through, you can see it shows you what keywords are associated to each of the images. Now, if you have all of these, right? This is easier with a big 5 thing. Ida, I see your question. I'll get there. If I look at all of these, you can now go and still search. In this case, if you want to search for a keyword to show you all the images, you're going to go to text up here. Normally we went to attribute, remember? Text. And in here, any searchable field contains, type in waterfall, and it should spit out, please work, please work, please work. There's my waterfall images that I keyworded. Okay, that makes sense. So on your general import, when you have the keyword block, do the general stuff. Wild eye, landscape, photography, Iceland, Reykjavik for the general. And with Big 5, it's interesting because they actually, I'll take you to a Big 5 one now, where you have to then, you can't just say mammals because you might have pictures of birds in there, right? So you're going to go very generic on the import. It's a pain in the ass to go and do these manually. It really is. So let me show you. Let's go to Lightroom and let me find for you, quickly a different directory. So I'm going to go, now I'm back into my folder level on the left-hand side here. Let me go and look for something where, not too many. Let's go, Ambassador is not diverse enough. Let's go Mala Mala, right? So here now, I have images from Mala Mala. There's some lions, there's some lion cubs. It's actually bad because here we only saw lions and leopards for the whole week. There's a rhino and so on and so forth, and a leopard. Okay, so now I'm going to come back to you in a second. On that directory, I can go and I can do my star ratings. I can go and do my color labels. I used them originally, but I'm going to show you my way of doing it in a second, right? Keywords are important, especially if you do them at base level, when you just import. But now you can see, when I do this Mala Mala one, I can't go and say in my general keywording, leopard, lion, and so on, because then I'm applying leopard and lion to all the other species as well. Got it? So nature, wildlife, Big 5 maybe, if that's your thing. But no, then you might have a meerkat or a rodent or something. Wild eye, safari, Africa, South Africa, Mala Mala. General keywords. Got it. So you can, and this is, I love this tool I'm about to show you. This is one of my favorites. So let's just go down to an area where there's a lot of leopards in this shot, which is nice. We like leopards. Okay, so let's start here. Okay, so I've got these images, right, of, let me just open it up a little bit for you. I've got these images here. So I've got leopards. I've got, what is this? A vervet monkey. There's an impala in this, and I think there was a hornbill down there. Right. So if I wanted to do keywords just for this image, obviously I now type it in there, leopard. Okay. You can also, if it's a sequence, I can go from here to there. I click the first one. I hold shift on my keyboard. I click the last one. All of them are highlighted. You see there's a little asterisk here, which means it's only applied to some of the images. I take that away and I just do, come on, leopard. Gerry's spelling is not good. He needs to drink more coffee. Good Lord. How do you spell leopard? P-A-R-D. There you go. Done. Okay. So now leopard has been applied as a keyword to all of those. All right. So that's pretty simple. If I'm then going to go here, I can go vervet monkey, I can go irritating, I can go naughty, I can do whatever keyword you want to assign. Click on it and do. If you want to do random images, for example, I want to do this one, I can then hold Control on a PC or Command on a Mac and hold that in, and I can select random images like that, and I can then type a keyword in here. So I can do, for example, big cat, enter, and that then gets applied to those selected images. Okay, tell me quickly that you're on the same page as how to assign keywords either to one or multiple images, because then I'm going to change it up and show you my favorite tool. Dan, got it. See, it's super easy. Same page, yes. Okay, now give me a yes or a no as well. How many of you have used the spray can tool? The spray can tool in Lightroom. I love this thing, right? No. Some of you, the spray can tool, not in Lightroom, only at home. Yeah, nice. No, okay. You ready for this? Amy, are you ready? I see you haven't done it before, so let's do this. Okay, now watch this. Are you watching? Okay. Pictures together, yes. All right. So I'm going to do here. Now, if you, let me just go get in here. Okay. The most important thing here sometimes is what happens that sometimes you don't have. You see this at the bottom of my screen, this toolbar here. Sometimes it's gone. If it's gone, you hit T on your keyboard. Watch. It either hides it or shows it. If yours is gone, just hit T on it. Yours might be customized differently to mine. So what you can do, you go to the far corner here, you click this little triangle, and you can select what you want in there. Now, I like view modes because I can use that. Painter, which is the one I'm going to show you now. For me, it's called the Paint Can tool because it sounds much better. Lightroom should listen to me. Sorting you can do all of these if you want as well. And I prefer thumbnail size down here as well. This is your choice, right? But this is the important one I want you to have highlighted. This thumbnail tool is simply just, you can just open it up and close it in. Okay, so let's work at this level for now. Okay, ready for this. This over here is one of the most powerful things for me within the library module as far as cataloging. I can click on this thing, right? Watch what happens next to it. If I click on this, it says paint what? I can decide here what I want to paint. So I'm going to do keywords, but you can also paint labels like colors, flags, rating, stars. Don't worry about the rest. We can do one-on-ones if you want to go there. But I can, for example, say, let's just do ratings, and I can say 3. If I now take my cursor up, see it looks like a little spray can. I'm going to go click on there. Watch what happens. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Got it? So I'm choosing to spray the number 3 onto those images, and you can see at the bottom, each of them is now a 3. You should be starting to getting excited because of what I'm going to show you now when it comes to keywording. And keywording is important. It is important, especially if you want to go deep with your own cataloging. So here we go. Pay attention as of now. I'm going to change this to keywording. In here, I'm going to say keywords that I want to paint onto it would be leopard, comma, South Africa, because it was, Africa, because it is. This was at Mala Mala. And let's say, for example, predator. Done. Okay, so all of those keywords, you ready for this? Will now, as I scroll up, you get where I'm going? I can now look at my leopard images. Let's, for example, imagine they're not all leopard images, right? I click on this. It's assigned all of those keywords to every one that I spray. It is assigning the keywords to every one of those images. See all the little the yellow, God, the white frames? It has now been sprayed. All of that has been sprayed. Mom told you when you finish with something, put it back. So put your paint can back, right? I can now look at this image, click over there. There are all my keywords with one single spray. That's awesome. Okay, that is really, really cool. So you guys should be able to think to yourself, right, how can I make this easy? You do your global imports, you do your keywording, which is South Africa, Africa, Mala Mala. Depending on how deep you want to go, right, you can then, when you get to this level with a spray can tool, you can put predator, you can put predator, leopard, you can go leopard, you can go ingwe, you can do all of those. You can put chewy, you can put every single African language into those keywords. You can put predator, you can put Panthera pardus, you can put whatever you want, as long as you want single clicks and it sprays it onto all of them, which down the line makes it searchable according to any of those phrases. It's pretty damn awesome. Okay, it is pretty sweet. So up until now, I want to now show you how I would go about working down from a bunch of images. Everybody happy so far? Rating, label, keywords, and the spray can tool. Yes, no, we got this. Alyssa asks, do I just press T? You only press T if your bottom, what's it called? Toolbar is not there. I'll show you again now. Okay, we're all on the same page. Can you just show again how you get to the keywords, please? All right, I'm going to quickly take you back into Lightroom. So Alyssa, just to answer your question, sometimes in Lightroom, you see this, and there's no toolbar at the bottom, and people get hysterical. And I get phone calls at the office, says, oh my God, Gerry, please help. My Lightroom's broken. No, it's not broken. Just hit T on your keyboard, and it brings this back. That's all. And then you manually go and click the painter. If you don't have the painter tool here, click on there, and then you select it over there. Very powerful feature. To get to the keyword, simple. We haven't done anything on this image, for example. You open the side, and you just click in keywording, and you can add it manually in there. Or then if we sprayed it, you can see it in here as well. Okay, so now, you just see what the Q&As are doing. Will a selected keyword only search a particular folder or from all folders? Great question, Franco. It will search the folder I have highlighted because those are the image currently that Lightroom's looking at. If you have your catalog selected, in my case, 197,000 something images, and I do the keyword search, it'll search everything. So if you're just working in one directory of, for example, Mala Mala, it'll only search that. If you're working in a collection, it'll only work that. So the selection of images that you have selected on the left will be the ones that become searchable when you do that. I hope that makes sense, Francois. So that's that. I'll get to these other ones in a little bit. Okay. Now, I'm going to take you through the easiest way that I found, and where this came from. I was in Madagascar a little while ago, which seems like years, but it's like, it is actually a year and a half. And the lady who I was working with there, the private guided trip, she wasn't as what's the word, knowledgeable within Lightroom, and she didn't understand computers and stuff like that. So we had to make this process simple. Now, most of you, from what I'm getting, understands keywords and ratings and stuff, and now especially more because I've given you a little bit of extra, right? So nothing huge, some. What we're going to do is I try to find a way to make it easy for her, because now here's the thing. Every single one of you listening to this needs to have, I need to be able to come to you for coffee, right? And you need to say to me, here's my best images from Masai Mara. Here's my best images from the Madagascar trip. If I come to you and you want to show me your picture from the Masai Mara, and you're going to show me 4,723 raw files, I'm fucking leaving, right? You want to be able to show, the raw files are for you. You need to be able to get to a point where this is the ones that I'm working. Okay, and what I'm going to show you now, for me, has become the easiest workflow to get from a big collection of images down to what I want to process. You should, in theory, when we talk about workflows, right, you should be able to go in, sort things out first, then develop, and then do something with it. You're not going to, and this, most people do this. They go and they develop one here, they change, they go and they find another one, they develop one there, then shit, I need to export something for Instagram. Where is that again? And messy, right? Now you can, and in the past, I used to use color labels heavily, and I use star ratings. So I would use, for example, the red ones. No, not with. The red ones, for example, was the ones I was going to process. Once I finished processing, then it was 5-star on my hero shots, 4 stars goes to Instagram, 3 stars goes to blog, 2 stars becomes publishing, whatever. Okay, but that's a long process. What I'm going to show you now is how I'm still working now. And when I go on trips with people, this is how I suggest they do it, because it creates beautiful clarity. Here we go. back into Lightroom. Okay. Yeah, way before. All right. So now, this is what I have. Picture this. We have all gone on a trip and we come back at the end of the day and let me just find, this is actually a bad example. Let me find another directory that's going to make the example easier. What am I looking at? Let's see what this one did. Actually, no, Svalbard's a good idea. Let's do Svalbard because I miss it. Svalbard would have been my next trip, but yeah, coronavirus decided otherwise. So let's start with this, for example. Okay. Now, let me just get my stuff together here. So I've got Svalbard selected. This is the raw files I've just imported, and I'm looking at all of these images. All right. Now, you can start star rating. You can do whatever you want here. This, for me, is the easiest way. So I've got 2019-5-May Svalbard. That's the name of my directory. I've imported these files. Before I start, right, I minimize this. I go into collections, and I create a new collection. I'm not going to go deep into sets and stuff. Email me if you have problems. Create collection. I'm going to say, what was this? This was May 2019 dash, let's call it best of Svalbard. You can call this whatever you want, right? At this point in time, forget about this. Ask me later if you have questions. You make sure you click this as set target collection, and you'll see now why. I go create. So there's my collection now. You see it's got the little plus sign next to it. That means it is the target collection. And what that means is with any image, let me give you the example. So remember now, I'm inside my raw file folder. Here, what we're looking at is 4,510 raw files, right? If I start working through these things, if on any given image, so let's say on that image, don't even know who that is, Brendan from, yeah, great guy from New York, currently in Australia. If I want to add this to that target collection, I hit B on my keyboard. Right, it said add target collection. Watch now if I go to my collection. There it is. Okay, so if I want to take it out, I just hit B again on the same image. It removes it from the collection, not from the raw folder. Okay, the raw files do not change. They stay where they are. Okay, so let me just come back to you for a second. Okay. Process is as follows. You're going to have one finger on B, which is B is going to put it into that collection, right? The other finger is going to be on the X key. So you've got X, B, and the other finger is going to be on the arrow. Okay. Let me show you what X does. So you know what B does. B puts it into your target collection. You should already be thinking here, this is pretty cool. Okay. Let me show you what X does, and then we'll go into my process. It wasn't all that much, by the way. So if I'm going through my images, if I have, for example, something like that, this one here, and I hit X on the keyboard, right? It's set as a rejected. If I move on, X, 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 watch what happens. It gets a little black flag and it gets grayed out. Now, this is important. I can go to attribute here and say, show me here all the rejected, not 5 stars, just all the rejected images. And there they are. The point with that is you are not going to ever delete straight out of Lightroom. You want to look at stuff first. Yeah, I've seen people literally delete their entire catalog by making a mistake. By hitting X, you are marking that image as a reject. It doesn't delete it yet. You go through the entire thing, X all of them, and when you finished Xing all your images, you come here, attribute, you click this, it shows you all of the X's. At this point, this should be all your crap, all the stuff you want to delete. You can now go select all, and at this point, you can delete. This will come up, remove, cancel, or delete from disk. If you delete it from the disk, it's gone forever. Well, actually, not really. It goes into your recycle bin. If you hit remove, it removes the images from Lightroom, but it still takes up space on your hard drive, which makes no sense because it's crap anyway. Okay, but I'm not going to do that because I haven't done that yet. If we take you back here, if you've X'd something that you do not want to X and you made a mistake, you hit U on the keyboard, which is unflag or unX. And there it is, back to normal. Okay, so the theory, can you add more than one image to the target collection at once? Yes, you can. Watch Louis' question. So I can go, for example, this one, and that one, hit B. And all of those now, if I should go down into my collections, there are my 3 images. So you can do many or little or the whole thing. All right, I'm going to unbe those. Unbe, is that a thing? It is now. Okay, so you've got this. You know how to create a collection. You know what B does. B is going to put the images into that collection because it said at the target collection, and X is going to get rid of my stuff as a reject. So my theory is when I sit down to process and catalog, I want to sit down and go, right, 3 choices. Number 1, do I want to process this image? Number 2, is it crap? Do I want to delete it? Or number 3, meh, I don't really have much feeling for it. So if I want to process it, I'm going to hit B. If it's crap and I'm going to get rid of it, I'm going to hit X. And if I don't have much feeling about it, I'm just going to skip it, which means I hit the arrow. So on every single image, you're just going to hit one key, B, X, or arrow. The important thing here, can I have more than one target collection? Negative. You can have one target collection at a time. So if I'm working in Svalbard, the Svalbard collection is my target. If I'm working in Madikwe is my target collection. So you can change that. All right. So B, X, and arrow. The important thing is here, you have to have caps lock on before you start this process. Why? With caps lock on, if you assign B or X to any image, it auto advances to the next one. Make sense? Otherwise, I'm going to hit B on an image, then I have to hit the arrow. I'm going to hit X on an image, I have to hit the arrow. With caps lock on, if I hit B, it assigns the B and it goes to the next one, and so on. Caps lock, it's the button above shift. Yeah? So this is my process, and then I'm going to get to Q&A. Amy, this is gold. Hadn't discovered this yet. Ooh, Amy, there's so much more. I'm just scratching the surface. Anyway, so we're going to share screen here and done. So I'm going to recap very quickly. I'm working in my Svalbard folder. Where is it? There it is. Okay, we're going to start from the top here. Actually, no, let's for shits and giggles start with polar bears because I like polar bears a lot. And I wish I could see more. Okay, we're going to start here. So I'm working in this. The images I'm looking at is my raw files. I have created my collection. I've made it the target collection, because the plus is there, right? And now I'm going to go into folder just to make sure. I like space on my screen, so I'm going to take this thing away sideways, right? So I've got more real estate. I'm going to make it a bit bigger so I can look at them better. Okay, and I'm going to start here. Now, I'm going to turn caps lock on. Caps lock is now on. So on every single image, my decision again is, do I want to process it? Do I want to reject it as in delete it later on? Or don't I care for it at this stage either way? Then I just leave it. If I want to process it, I hit B. If I want to reject it, I hit X. If I don't care for it, I just skip it with the arrow. Ready? Here we go. So let's make it a bit bigger so we can see even better. Okay. You can also do this at that level, hey? You can do this at this level. In that case, what I would do, I would keep my thumbnail here so I know it's coming up. So let's work here. Okay. My one finger is on X, on B, and on the arrow. I look at this, I'm thinking, nah, no real feeling. Arrow. Process, I hit B. I've got that already, I'll skip it. I don't like, reject. Negative, reject. Reject, reject. Maybe a blog post, skip. Skip again, I've got another one, X, that one. I like that, let's hit B. Skip, skip, skip. Okay, interesting, don't like the foot position, but I'll keep it for a blog. Skip, arrow, yes? When I say skip is arrow. Arrow, foot position, I like that, to B. I like B. I've got one, X, reject. Note like the shadows, reject. Keep going, arrow, he's looking the wrong way. He's looking the wrong way, so I'm gonna X and X. I like that B. I'm gonna skip, like that B. And so on and so forth. Okay, now do you get what I just did? Turn caps lock on. Hit B if I want to add it to my collection. Hit X if I want to reject it. Arrow if you don't care or you don't really make you feel anything. Let's go back. let's go back, right? So we go in here. If I now pull back on this, right, you'll see, you can see the rejects, right? You can see there's some rejects, and you see this has a little dot in the corner here, means it's been added to the collection. Okay, so now at this stage, I would go through my entire catalog day by day on a safari or at the end of the trip and do this. I B and X, B, X or arrow. Once I've done all the X's, I would go to attribute and ask Lightroom, show me, because this is tagged, those are all the rejects. At this point, what you can do, you can open it up and just click through quickly and make sure that you didn't make a mistake. And if you think, oh shit, I actually like this one, just hit U on the keyboard and it puts it back. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Once I've gone through all of those, I say Command or and delete. Done. So I've got rid of my rejects, they're done. Okay, now the important thing is I'm going to now go down to my collection because I've got a lot of B's. There it is. And here are my B's. These are the ones now that I want to process. This is my working portfolio of the trip. Please, God, don't show me your raw files. Show me this. I would then start here. I would open that, go to develop, and I would now start processing this image like we've done. This, that, if you've done, we can do all things to it. Next one, I would process. If I get to this and I think, I made a mistake, I don't really want to process this, or it's not good enough, all I do, even at this level, is I hit B again, and it takes it out of the collection, which means at the end of this process, once you've done this, and you get to the last image that you've processed, you suddenly have a collection of images that have been curated and processed, and it's awesome. It's that good. It's that good. Right. So for me, if you are looking for the best way to manage your images inside of Lightroom, is what I just did. I would suggest that you import during Lightroom, do all of the keywording as much as you can. If you have a reason to do keywording, use the spray can tool. Yeah. Ratings and stuff is easy, right? But for me, I would create that collection, use B to get them from my raw files into the collection, process from there, and then I've got a working body of work. Now, let's just finish with this. If I've not done this, right, and I've processed all of these, I can now, inside my collection, come and think, okay, cool. What do I want to use for Instagram, for example? I can click this one, and then I can say, let's give it a red, that and that. So if there's 400 images, and I want something for Instagram, I can be inside my collection, which is curated and processed. I can go up to attributes, and I can say, please show me all the red ones. And these are final images then to be used for whatever. You can do yellow for books, green for prints, and so on and so forth. And so forth. Kenton, I think the answer to your question is both. Both. So there it is. I'm going to go now. I'm going to go to Q&A. If you have any questions, put them in the Q&A now. We're going to answer that, and then we'll wrap it up from there. Q&A. Okay. From the very top, can you tell me the difference between Lightroom Classic and CC other than the obvious? Can you work in both? How does it work? Okay. Different discussion. What I'll do at some stage, I'll add that to my Instagram story. Lightroom Classic is the one we're working in now. Lightroom CC is the web-based version. Very different keystrokes. You kind of need more connectivity with CC. I still prefer Classic because it offers me more. It really does from a cataloging point of view, but each to his own, right? Ida asks, to choose the right 5 stars to process, can you see the images in big size and add the stars to be able to see better and choose better? Good question. Let me answer that for you quickly. So you can, let's just go back here. So you're following, let's say I'm doing Cape Town, right? If I was going to do stars on this, I could literally choose this one, hit F over there, and you can add stars at full screen level, right? So 3, next, 3, next, 2, next. So you can do it at full screen resolution. Yes, you most definitely can. Francois asks, will the selected any keyword? We've done that one. Brendan, when I close Lightroom, it asks me if I want to save my catalog or skip this time. What does this mean and should I be doing it? Also, where did that koala over your shoulder come from? What the hell? Good day, mate. This is from Glenn, who's a very good friend of ours. If you followed me in New York, he was with me there. Good day, mate. Anything else, Brendan? And Yoda's up there. That came from the ship, but now we're digressing. That's a long time ago. So when you close and it asks, do you want to save? I don't do that, right? When you exit Lightroom, right, you have the option to save your catalog or back it up. What it does, inside your catalog directory, it creates another folder and it basically duplicates the LR-cat files. It takes up a lot of space. I've cleaned up people's hard drives with about 60, 70 gigs worth of backups. What I personally do is once every 2 or 3 trips, I've got all of my stuff on an external. I just duplicate across and I keep it offline. Because the problem is, if you have all your backups on the same directory, if something fucks out, it's all gone anyway. So I don't like that. There's different ways, that's just mine. But I would skip this time. There's one that I think you can skip this month. So yes, that's that. Ida asks, in your whole process, do you first create a collection or first rate? Personally, I create a collection. I then do B&X. Once I've got my working, developing files inside my collection, I process all of them, because during that process, I might throw some of them out, right? Because they weren't good enough anyway. And then from there, I would rate if necessary. So for me, it starts from the collection. Penny asks, is this right? You first look at and rate all your images and then go put them into the catalog and then go through all of them again? I'm not sure. I'm not sure I get the question. What I've seen people do is they would literally import all their raw files into directory, right? And they would then go and choose certain files offline and only import those into Lightroom. You're missing the point of how strong the cataloging feature is. So don't do that. Import everything into Lightroom and then use these functions. You can rate first if you want. I just like to know that these are the images I'm going to be working with in my collection, and then I start rating from there, if that answers the question. Ida, sorry, I'm lost in how you start your process from the beginning. First B&X, then keywords, then collection. Okay, again, you have to create the collection first. Number one, before you even start, create the collection. Set it as a target collection, right? Set it as a target collection. Use B&X. B will put it into that collection. X will reject, and then you can rate and process from there. Richard, hey Gerry, thanks for this. It's been great to hear and otherwise cool. Quick question. It's a simple one, but how do you do color file name under folder? I see you have blue, green, and red. Does that make sense? Yeah, 100%. Cool. Let's finish on that one. So what that is, it's a pretty new feature. I think it's 2 or 3 versions of Lightroom old. I do find it useful. So what Richard is meaning is these color labels over here on the side, right? So what this is, for me, I would start, and if I import raw files, you right click on next to it, and you just say, where is it? Add a color label, red. So once I've imported images in, and it's only my raw files, I give it a red. Once I have gone through and B&X'd it, I would change that to green, I think it was. No, sorry, I lie. I would then turn it to blue, which means I've cataloged and I've gotten rid of my rubbish. And once I've processed it and uploaded it to my website, then I would change it, right click to green. Okay, so it's a new feature here. So red means I still have to process all of those. Red still means I have to process all of those, which, yeah, a lot of work. But it's very, very handy. Again, it's the how. Why you do it is up to you. That's the how. So Richard, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, it's a very, very handy feature. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. I don't have anything on here. You know me on Instagram. Go and look, Gerry van der Walt. I'm on there. Gerry@wildeye.co.za. Interesting one for you. Tomorrow's webinar that I'm doing, same time as today, is on sharpening and noise reduction. Very important, but very misunderstood. They link together big time. If you over sharpen, you're actually sharpening noise. And if you reduce noise too much, you're reducing sharpness. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. On Thursday evening, I think 6 o'clock South African time, I'm talking about the adjustment brush in Lightroom. Super powerful. We're going to go really deep on that one. And then next week, Wednesday evening, I'm going to run the first of more of a dedicated seminar, if you will, rather than a webinar. It's going to be a 2-hour session, 1.5 hours of lecture like we do, and then half an hour of dedicated Q&A on monochrome for wildlife photography. I'm going to have the details up either later today or tomorrow, and it's going to be a dedicated session in which I take it from Lightroom. We start processing there. We're then going to bounce it over to Photoshop, use some features there. We're going to take it into Nik filters, use silver effects, deep into silver effects. We're going to throw that back into Photoshop and then back into our catalog. So it's going to be a full workflow on monochrome using the power of Lightroom, Photoshop, and Nik. That's next Wednesday evening. Details to follow. I'm super excited about that one. But that's it for now. Guys, thank you for checking in wherever in the world you are. I know, Alyssa, you said you woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning to watch that. We'll watch this. Thank you so much. I hope you go back to bed and sleep well. Say hi to Mom, by the way. And I will see you guys online and hopefully tomorrow at the same time. Guys, as always, wherever in the world you are, good morning, good evening, and good night. My name is Gerry. I'm from Wild Eye. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.